Hi there, and good afternoon today. I normally meet you guys at 12, so I am kind of accustomed to saying good noon. One of those rare greetings. But now that we are meeting at 1 today, a very good afternoon, and it is absolutely lovely to see you here joining me for this particular session. My name is Vikrant. I am your personal coach for all things related to English and communication. You are on BYJU'S exam prep channel that is dedicated to the success of CAT aspirants, and we do a lot of things here, sessions related to individual topics, concepts, strategy, and there was a series that we started a while ago where we talked about passages belonging to high frequency areas, areas that get asked more often in the CAT. And in that series, we have our next session today. In this session, we'd go ahead and talk about passages that are based on sociology and anthropology. And if I look at the last 6 years of CAT question papers, sociology and anthropology, particularly social sciences combined, are going to occupy the top spot in terms of contribution of RC passages to the exam. And but at this juncture, you may have this question in your mind that, what is sociology, what is anthropology? But before we dive into that, let's set it off at a right note. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. This is a line that resonated with me when I read The Alchemist for the first time. It changed my perspective on the CAT preparation, and I hope that you also realize this to be reality, the actual reality. You're not studying RC, Quant, DILR. You are trying to make yourself better, and as you go on to become better, you go on to elevate yourself, you go on to change all the aspects of your life, including your CAT scores. So bringing you back to what is sociology, what is anthropology? Guesses? What's your take? So both of these, when you talk about sociology, you talk about anthropology, both of these are part of social sciences, and there are 5 major social sciences that we typically go ahead and talk about, and sociology, anthropology are going to be 2 of those. So when you say social sciences, it's a group of academic disciplines that focus on how an individual behaves within a society. Okay, these are disciplines where you study how people interact with one another. So you study sociology, anthropology, psychology, political science, etc. under the ambit of social sciences. So sociology in particular, any aspect of your life that takes the adjective social will be studied under sociology. So if I were to define it, this is what I will go ahead and say with respect to sociology. So it is a study of human societies, their interactions, and the processes that preserve and change them. So sociology does that by examining the dynamics of the various constituents of a society. So constituents, of course, you have individuals, but then you also have different institutions, you have different communities, you have different populations, then you also have different genders and races and age groups. So you examine the dynamics of each one of these things closely. Additionally, sociologists would also go on and study social status, social movements, social change, social disorder in the form of crime, deviance from the norms, and all of these different revolutions that happen in the world around us. And quite a few people in our contemporary world would also put issues related to gender and women's studies under it, criminology under it, certain parts of history under sociology. So all the interactions among large groups and societies with one another, and in fact even interactions that guide individuals. So even the smallest of the interactions. So say you are walking on a footpath, somebody else is coming from the opposite side, both of you move a little to the left to allow each other to pass easily. That's sociology. And when we talk about anthropology, that is the study of the origin and development of human societies and culture. It's actually a very vast area. So it includes physical or biological anthropology, where you look at human evolution. It includes social anthropology, where you look at different societies. You talk about linguistic anthropology under this. You talk about archaeology under this. So that's a very broad ambit that you actually have right under anthropology. So fundamentally, anthropologists would study the characteristics of human societies of the past and the present, and in doing so they actually investigate different societies closely by usually being a part of it, right? So that's anthropology for you. And let us see, let's look at all of these messages that have streamed in and that I missed out on. Good noon, Imam, Navneet, Agrima, Ajay, Tarun, and Pulkit. Hi, KKF. Good to see you once again here. अजय भाई, इनका वोकैबुलरी कहाँ से याद करें, कहाँ मिलेगा यार? देख, एरिया स्पेसिफिक वोकैबुलरी जो है ना, उसको हम बोलते हैं jargon, technical terms related to a particular area. So the best way to learn these technical terms is through reading an introductory text on that particular area. So any field, when it happens to have a lot of technical words, it's better to read an introductory text. Otherwise, you can just go and read a lot of passages from that area, a lot of articles from that area, and whenever you come across a new unfamiliar term, you can always Google it, and then gradually it'll have the same effect. You'd go on and acquire the knowledge of all those different terms, right? KK, if I'm at work, I will check this out later. Hey, that's okay. I'm also at work. But then this happens to be my work. So let's go ahead and practice a couple of passages. The first passage that I'm going to give you is an actual CAT passage. This is from CAT 2008. And this talks about the Mayans. Remember that movie called 2012 and the Mayan calendar and the world will come to an end? So of course no such conspiracy theories in this passage, but it will look at Mayan society and the reasons behind how and why it vanished. That's going to be a part of social anthropology along with a bit of archaeology thrown in. So take a couple of deep breaths and then we'll move over to the passage. And here is the first paragraph on the screen for you. As usual, just let me know once you've read it and I'll take you over to the next slide. So next paragraph. Okay, taking you over to the next paragraph now. Ready? Are we done? Fabulous. Oh, missed out on a full stop here. So I guess you're through with this paragraph. So taking you over to the next one. Could not fit the next paragraph onto a single slide, so it is split over two, but this is the last paragraph with one more slide after it for the remaining part of the para basically. Tarun, heed basically, let me basically talk about the expression which will give you the meaning. To pay heed to something is to give attention to something, listen to something. Okay, so here we did not of course use heed, but heed basically is to pay attention, to take notice of something. Okay, next. So this is the last part of the passage. Okay, done. Are we ready? Look at this nice history, huh? Where the kings sought to outdo each other with more and more impressive temples covered with thicker and thicker plaster, reminiscent in turn of the extravagant, conspicuous consumption by modern American CEOs, basically reminding in turn of, reminiscent in turn of Americans. We have it here. So done. Are we ready for the questions? Okay, so CAT for a few years experimented with 5 answer choices. 2008 was one of those years, but I struggled to fit a lot of information on a single slide. Beside CAT nowadays gives you just 4 options. So I have taken that liberty with these questions. They are actual CAT questions, but I have removed one of those answer choices to keep it more consistent with the current pattern. Okay, so here is the first one. So actual CAT passage, actual CAT questions, they are essentially the gold standard of your preparation. So what's your take on this? So should I take you back to the paragraph that mentions Rwanda and Haiti? Should we? Let's go. Here. So what is happening here? Population growth outstripping available resources. Okay. Population growth outstripping the available resources. Now, when I look at A says land and other resources, but B limits itself to just land resources. Was the paragraph talking about just the land resources? No, it talked about resources. So they were not just the land resources. And on that count, I'd say A is better than B. So let's rule out B. C, various ethnic groups fighting with each other. Was it mentioned in the paragraph where Rwanda and Haiti have been mentioned? No, it is mentioned in the next paragraph. So in the context of Rwanda and Haiti, C is not applicable, and D, once again, there was no mention of political power in the context of Rwanda and Haiti, so even that could be ruled out. The choice was between A and B, and all that we had to look at was whether the passage focuses on just land resources or all the resources, that even those that go beyond land. And that is why A should be the right answer here. Here is the next question for you. So I'd say this is more of a vocabulary question in a way. So you know what drought is? Drought is a long period of little to no rain. So the Hindi word for drought is sukha. Anthropogenic is anything that is caused by humans or human actions. Right? You know, anthropos is mankind. And that is why the correct answer here has to be D. There is no other option that captures the meaning of anthropogenic. Here is the next one for you. Okay, so this is again, I'd say a question that can be answered easily by referring to just one single location, and most of you have managed to do that. So C, it is absolutely correct. Here is the next one then. This was a question that actually bothered a few individuals in the actual exam. Let us see what you mark. Okay. So Anjula has shared her answer. How about others? So this is a question that essentially requires you to go back to the opening paragraph and interpret whatever is given here, given there. And I think Anjula, Nidhi and Prasanna are the first three to give the answer. All of them are incidentally giving D. Anything else? I think B is easy to rule out, A is easy to rule out. So the option is basically C versus D. And since all of you have picked up the right answer, I think that can save me the discussion. D it is, absolutely correct. If you have any doubt or issue, ask. Otherwise, we can move over to the next one. So this is the kind of question where, you know, if you are able to make a really good mental overview of the passage, you'd be able to answer it rather correctly or rather quickly for that matter. Absolutely. D is not something that is mentioned. It was not the population, but the rulers, the elites, the aristocrats who were obsessed, and that is why D should be the right answer. So with that, now that we are done with anthropology, let me take you through another passage. This time around, we will focus on sociology. So here you are. Ready? So just mentally switch, make yourself ready for the next passage. So I generally just shake it all off and then focus. Here is the first paragraph, the first couple of paragraphs rather. Okay, here is the next one. So I am sure by now you've read it. All right. I hope you're done with this. So here comes the next. Okay. So taking you over to the next slide now. And this is the last slide, and then we'd have questions. All right, so moving over to the questions now. Here is the first one on the screen for you. Okay. Prasanna, Sunny have answered. Nidhi too has joined the party. Anjula is next. So you're absolutely right. B is the answer for question number 6. Social cues, social status is mentioned implicitly in first and second paragraph, but by the time you reach the fourth paragraph, and for that matter even the fifth one, it is stated rather explicitly. And with that, let's move over to our next question. Okay, so in this particular case, what should the answer be? Pulkit and Anjila think that the answer should be B. B for BYJU'S, so does Imam. And that's correct. It is something that you can infer from the fourth paragraph, or was it the fifth one? Right. So it is something that you can conclude on the basis of either fourth or fifth paragraph. A and B is absolutely correct. Yes. So the trick here was to eliminate A. So we were talking specifically about the effect of the sex of a person on racial perception. A is given as an example in a paragraph where sex has not been discussed, and that is why that should have been ruled out, and you've successfully done that. So here is the next one. Okay. So absolutely yes, D, all of the above, each one of these things is mentioned in the passage. So here comes the next one, question number 9. Okay, Nidhi, that was quick, huh? I think you barely took 30 seconds to answer this question. That's sensationally fast. What's your secret? Okay, so D it is for question number 9. Absolutely correct, guys. And here comes the next question for you. So the question does not give you the complete last sentence. So use the seeker on the video, go back to the last paragraph, read the last sentence, complete the complete last sentence in the context, and then come back for answering it. Okay, so question number 10 is what do we call these questions? Idea restatement questions, right? And the right answer here should be, so far Nidhi has shared her answer and she's being sensationally fast today. Kudos, huh? A pat on the back for you. Good job. I think it's right. If you look at it in that given context, if you recognize a problem, you can fix it. That's the basic context, right? In fact, it is true for our entire life. And in that context, yes, B is something that can be interpreted rather easily and should be chosen as the right answer for us. So that takes care of the two passages that I brought for you from Sociology and Anthropology. For more practice, you can join us for our NMAT crash course that happens where the sessions happen at 7 p.m. every day. And you can also consider enrolling in our test series, which gives you ample practice. And in case you realize that you need a lot of help, a lot of inputs with the concepts too, then you can join our batches, which give you everything that you would expect from a particular program. And here is the proof, the great results that these batches have gone on to produce. And don't take my word for it. Unlock your free trial, experience it, and then decide. Right? So that's it from me today. Prasanna, oh, why not option D in that previous question? Was it about, were those people making the decisions consciously? They were guided by their subconscious biases, subconscious stereotypes about race. It was not a conscious decision. So that is the part that could help you eliminate option D. So the conscious decision. Right? So that's it from me today. Don't forget to like the video before you go, and until I see you next, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch. And if you want to practice more passages with me, more questions with me, I'd be taking a session on the app at 7 p.m. where we talk about some more previous year CAT questions. So you can join me for that as well, right? So take care, enjoy your day, and I'll see you at 7 hopefully on the app.